Well,
that's funny.
We'll go ahead, 7:01, we'll go ahead and get the panel started.
Yeah.
Thanks to Hoover Library Sci-Fi Fantasy Festival. This is the panel you've all been waiting for. This is the Snyder Cut panel.
No.
Oh, it's not?
Wow.
Where
That
we
deserves
discuss,
a cue card. That deserves a cue card, Van. Come on.
where we discuss how many more millions we're going to spend on a movie that's already been made. This is the Marvel Cinematic Universe panel. And we're going to start off. Van Plexico, introduce yourself and tell people who you are.
Hey, I'm Van Allen Plexico, and I am the writer of, I believe, currently 19 science fiction, fantasy, and crime novels, and a bunch of other stuff. And I founded the Avengers Assemble website 25 years ago this year in 1995 at www.avengersassemble.net.
Excellent. All right,
And-
Mr. Oh, was that it?
Yeah, that's probably it.
Oh, okay. Joseph Crow.
Hey, where is my window? Look at me. My name is Joe Crow. I am a writer. I am a copy editor and an editor, and I do things with words, I guess. And I am the host of the American Sci-Fi Classics track at DragonCon. And we are, just like the Sci-Fi Fantasy Fest this year, we are 100% online this year, and we are doing awesome stuff. Find us at facebook.com/groups/American Sci-Fi Classics.
Excellent. And Allie from Studio 54. Tell us who you are and why you're here. Michael?
Okay. There's an awkward silence there from Allie. No, Michael Knipp. I am one of the hosts of the Deucecast movie show. We talk about all genres of movie, including the MCU as well. Been doing that for about 10 years now. We're into the 440s at this point on episode count. So if you enjoy all kinds of movie discussions, please check us out. We're on all the podcatchers that you can imagine. I also occasionally host a Star Wars-esque podcast called CTI. I will not tell you what that stands for. You can come up with whatever you want to with that. With Rhett Barnett, who has been on some of these panels this weekend, and then a good friend of mine, Tommy. We do that every once in a while. It is not as consistent as the Deucecast is. And I, of course, have to say go Braves. So there we go.
Well, there you go. And finally, Allie from Studio 54.
4463.
Yeah, whatever.
It's no, it's not whatever, because it is an Avengers reference.
Oh,
It's the first appearance of Wasp.
Excellent.
Since I work with miniatures and stuff like that, I thought it'd be awesome.
That's very nice. Well, tell us about yourself and what you work on.
My name is Allie Marceau. I am an illustrator, and currently we're learning 3D sculpting. So hopefully in the future, near future, I'll be able to do statues and things like that of collectibles, which I am a collector. It's really fish-eyed. Anyway, but yeah, I'm also a not self-proclaimed walking Marvel encyclopedia. And this was something Stan had called me once, and my friend who is at Marvel agreed. So it stuck.
Excellent. I'm Stan Daniel. I host a podcast called Kingdom Casts Podcast with Albert Marsh, and I am on this panel because I have seen Iron Man 3 twice.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh gosh.
Van's prepared.
Yeah, yes, he is. I guess we're going to go ahead and start by saying nothing's in production at the moment. I mean, we've got a long list of things.
There's a
to
lot
expect.
No, there's a lot in production right now.
Well,
yeah, there's a lot in production.
movie-wise, Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Pre-production.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
it's pre-production right now.
Mhm.
I know that uh, Vision and
WandaVision.
WandaVision is continuing as planned. I
You
know,
don't
of
think they're
course,
going to move that back because of COVID difficulties with
Yeah, the
They
streaming?
release
finished
date. The
filming
as
release
far
date is,
as
yeah.
far as I'm aware, no.
They finished filming the
They
live
finished
part in
filming
March, right?
everything. Yeah,
Oh, cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's been done. I mean, it's been done. It was done. I think 2 weeks before Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because they had to go back and reshoot some stuff with Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I wasn't referring necessarily to their production problems. I was referring to Strange
in
is
general.
still in pre-production,
Yes.
but there's no scheduled shooting for Strange 2. And when Wanda ends, isn't that supposed to go directly into Strange?
It
There's
does.
supposed to be some tie-ins, yeah.
What are y'all looking forward to the most?
Hawkeye.
Moon
Don't
Knight.
you give me that look.
Totally. I'm most looking forward to Moon Knight for sure.
Moon Knight does sound really awesome. Yeah.
Because Moon Knight, I mean, we've seen Hawkeye already.
Yeah, but have we?
Not to tag team on Allison, I apologize for that. But we haven't seen Kate Bishop, and I am very excited about seeing her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
And it's been. I've been getting little tidbits here and there, and it's just making me worse and making me swear at my friend all the more.
But no, I'm excited about. I have no idea how they're going to do She-Hulk, but I'm ready for that.
Yeah.
And no, everything that they have in the hopper, and where are I know this was like a year ago now. It seems like 10 years ago, but at some point, Blade is going to be in things again,
Yeah.
and I'm super pumped about that. So
Yep. Mahershala Ali.
yeah,
I'm looking forward to WandaVision. I want the multiple realities. And in addition to that, She-Hulk, especially if they put Alison Brie on board.
that would
I
I
be.
think she'd make a great Jennifer Walters.
I hope they don't cast her as that. I would rather cast somebody else. But
Well, who would you want?
Haley Steinfeld as Kate Bishop would be cool, though.
Yeah.
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 All right. So when you asked what are you most looking forward to, I first started trying to answer that question in my head and I couldn't. So I then said, all right, well, which of all of them am I not looking forward to almost as much? And I'm having a hard time. This is a hard question because I mean, I love the Eternals, Jack Kirby, Aliens, the Celestials. I mean, I don't know when we're ever going to get Galactus, but we could get the Celestials, and that we got them in Guardians of the Galaxy. We could get more of them, right? You know, it wasn't that long ago that we were all being told, "Oh, you silly nerds, you can't have a giant, giant being that looks like a man in the movie. That would be stupid. You have to have V'ger be Galactus." And I'm like, no, wrong. And now we're
Well, I mean, they did the same with Rocket. Oh, you can't. How are you going to put a raccoon in a movie?
Yeah.
I guess that worked. So,
And it was amazing.
I'm looking forward to all of them. I can't wait. But WandaVision, I mean, I love the Scarlet Witch and Vision.
Yeah.
It was set up so great by the end of the movie. You know it's what's kind of going to be in there. It's no secret. And so
Yeah.
what are we not looking forward to?
And who they've got playing Agatha Harkness in WandaVision. That was wait a minute, did I get that right? I mean, she is supposed to be playing Harkness, isn't she?
I haven't heard much lately. What's
I
going on?
haven't heard that.
It
Catherine
seems like
Hahn.
it was 10 years ago. The last.
Who?
Catherine Hahn. She's most noted for the comedies she's been
Oh,
in. and all.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, she's playing Harkness. Yeah.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
IMDb doesn't have her listed as Harkness, but I swear she let it slip somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, that her character's name was Harkness. So I really want to see what they do. Do y'all suspect that in WandaVision that the multiple realities that lead to the Doctor Strange situation, that this is how we're going to get the X-Men?
It's
Now,
highly
Fantastic Four, you can backdoor in there. Fantastic Four could be trapped in the negative zone for what to them is a week, but for everybody else in the Marvel Universe was 25 years.
Dan, you're saying instead of no more mutants, she says mutants.
I'm saying Doctor Strange or her one makes the connection to the world where the X-Men are dominant. I
No,
mean,
we found the one I don't care about, so there you go.
I feel like
Oh,
I don't care.
I
Really
feel like I don't know if they go that route. I feel like somehow the mutants were always there, and we just didn't talk about them until now.
I don't know how
Right.
that would play.
that
Me
would
either,
be.
but
Yeah.
Mutants.
Yeah, I mean, on the general public, that seems like a little bit of an out, especially with all the wasted effort that they put into the Inhumans.
Oh,
And I don't mean that. I don't mean that mean, but it's true.
But no,
that
it is
was a
true.
lot of wasted effort.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hey, the Inhumans are still around in Agents of Shield.
Yeah, but now, yeah, how
they kept trying to make Inhumans happen.
Right. Right.
Quit trying to make Inhumans happen.
yeah,
It's not
they
gonna happen.
insisted
Well,
real
they
hard on
tried
gonna
too
happen.
much, I think, to compensate because they didn't have the X-Men. So the
Mhm.
Inhumans were made the mutants. And it's like, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
That's not how any of that works.
Yep. And then Feige went to Uncle Mickey and said, "We'd really like the X-Men." And Mickey said, "How much you need, son?" Oh, hell, give us
Right?
all of it. Give us the aliens, predators, all of
Everything.
it over here. Yeah. So, this is, and now, you talk, we say that if you could have aliens and predator, versus the Avengers, Van.
Yeah. Yep.
And on the cinematic
Wow.
screen, on this.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna have eventually.
Kang would actually be really interesting if you ask me. He's
Yeah.
got a definitely a unique both origin and outlook on the Marvel universe.
Mhm.
So I really honestly that actually now that you bring that up, that actually would be really cool. Yeah, I
They-
mean
they
it'd
need
be
to-
like Days of Future Past, only weirder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they need to get him done before they start the whole "Here Comes Doctor Doom" 15 movies, because they're
Mhm.
too, I think, similar. You'd
Mhm.
see it. So we were talking about in the previous panel. You just had a bunch of time travel stuff, so Kane
Mhm.
now is kind of problematic, and then you got Shirley, right? You got Doctor Doom. They're not.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like if Lucas suddenly got the rights to Darth Vader, he's gonna use Darth Vader, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
they've got
Yeah.
the rights to Doctor Doom. We know he's coming, so you got to cram Kang in there in between those two.
Before
And
the flood. Before the
Or does
flood.
Yeah, I mean, I think Doctor
Yeah.
Doom's going to be the first Fox character that we see.
And I would, I don't see any reason that Doom was not already on Earth. You can
Mhm.
do the mysticism thing to, have slowed his aging, what have you. There's every reason in the world to have Doom already there, which also begets the Fantastic Four there. It's
Right.
real easy to say, Reed opened the negative zone portal, they stepped through, and Doom showed up and took the circuit breaker and threw it, and they've been trapped in the negative zone ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but Doom, look at all the connections you can make with Doom. The Ancient One, Man Thing,
Mhm.
anything. If you have him show up in the '60s, in young Nick. Well, I don't know. Young Nick Fury would be too young at that point.
Mhm.
But all the connections there with Doom that you could have him trip across to fit him so well in what's already come before. And he is the greatest supervillain out there. Yeah. I
Yeah,
was wondering that.
I can see that. That connection. Yep.
Yeah, that's a good
I
point.
never thought about that, Van. That's they've already laid the groundwork.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be perfect.
Oh, the more you
They
think
don't-
about it, the more you watch it, you see all of the groundwork that they have placed down. That could be
Mhm.
possibilities that they continue.
The one of the differences between the MCU and the Marvel Comics universe, the Marvel Comics universe has 17 different everythings. The MCU
Right,
has
right.
one of each.
Yeah.
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 So,
Yeah.
No, that would work really, really well. And there's all that talk about the city you can almost see in the background.
The
And
microverse.
the microverse.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah,
And
but they're
Van
not
cries.
they're-
We can't
Poor
call it that.
Micronauts.
he goes by and a Croyer's like, hey.
Yeah, I think unfortunately Hasbro still has the rights to the
Oh,
Mighty
No,
yeah.
it's
I
no,
believe so.
no. They're going to put him in it, but it'll be a blur. It'll be like a copyright not available.
Yeah.
You
You
don't
see,
see
you
this.
see Ron. You see Ron in the background of the next Guardians movie.
Well, now Marvel owns the Space Knights. They just don't
It's
own
not the
ROM.
ROM
Yeah, they
part.
just
Right.
don't own ROM. Yeah.
Yeah, ROM. Yeah,
Yeah, it all gets very tricky in the
right.
who owns what and all. There's been also talk that seems like Ruffalo
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
may be interested. Maybe has something in the works with him.
He's gung ho to do anything.
Yeah,
I mean, I think he even said he wanted to be in She-Hulk. I mean,
yeah, that'd be awesome.
that'd be
too.
I would
great.
love for him to at least. Now, granted, he's in. It's like when that first season of Supergirl, they tried to do it without Superman.
Yeah.
I feel like, and then they eventually realized, look, we can't just have his boot on screen. But with She-Hulk, I feel like since his name is half the title,
Yeah.
put him in there somewhere.
yeah.
Give him a little. He could. He's like you said. He's Allison. He seems to be gung ho to do it.
Hmm.
Give him a cameo. Put him in.
Right.
For 5 minutes.
Well, like, wasn't it his blood that transformed
Yeah,
She-Hulk?
it's a transfusion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, you can dress that up a little.
Well,
bit.
yeah,
Like,
Sure,
yeah.
sure,
nod,
sure.
nod.
Yeah.
But that'd be a good way to incorporate him in her origin.
Here, hold this gamma bomb. I'll be right back.
That was Captain Marvel already. So
Yeah.
That actually
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, really, the only thing that they can't do is a standalone Hulk movie. I mean, because the rights are still crazy with all of that.
yeah.
That's probably not the case with Hulk and Submariner anymore.
I don't
Oh,
know.
really?
That's
I don't know. I still
probably
think
not the case.
I still think Universal has those rights.
Yeah, there's been. We just got to wait and see. But right now,
Right.
the rumblings are real strong, especially with Submariner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here he comes.
Because we all need Namor.
Well, of course we do. Of
So
course
right
we
after
do.
Aquaman, $1 billion. That's just
Yeah. That's
As
another thing. It's
as
like-
long
like-
as they go completely opposite look, like have him not look anything like the DCEU's version of Aquaman,
Which
it'll
was
be a good
Tron.
right?
Yeah. And but I got to tell you that cover of Africa, that was
Right.
yeah. Okay, so you've got potential Submariner, and he's rumored to show up in everything from Eternals to Doctor Strange.
I think that's who Keanu's playing.
Really,
See,
you
I
don't
was
think he's
hoping
the
Moon
Silver
Knight.
Surfer?
I was hoping.
No,
Moon
I don't think
Knight-
he's Silver Surfer.
Oh,
Oh,
No, that would be too typecasted for him.
I know,
Like,
but
he
that's what I
would
was
not.
hoping.
I know, and I think everybody, because of Point Break, everybody
Right.
wants that.
Yeah, if he
but-
was Silver Surfer, I feel like that'd be like Keanu playing himself.
exactly.
Right.
Spray
right.
paint him.
And
that's
especially now with Bill and Ted coming out, he would not want to have that mentality, I'm sure.
Van,
No, I
what
think
are the
he'll be fine
odds
with
that Joe? What are the odds that Christian Bale is Doom in Thor: Love and Thunder?
Ooh, I like it.
I cannot think of anybody else to play Doom. And I mean, you talk about near typecast. Wouldn't it be great to have press releases that he gets mad on set and kills somebody while in the Doom costume?
all right.
I mean,
There's a
yeah,
lot to unpack here. Wait, there's a lot to unpack here. You're saying we would bring. All right, hold on. You said like a bunch in one sentence. We're bringing in Doom. He's being played by Christian Bale,
Right.
who I
I'm
still see
asking.
as the little, who I still see as the little boy in Henry V. With brown.
Yeah.
You're doing it in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Well, he's
Okay.
signed to Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh,
Christian
You
Bale.
don't know he's-
Yeah.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, I mean
Who's
that
playing?
that's not confirmed yet, Stan, but that's the rumor.
Mm.
There's not been a confirmation on that.
No, I don't think that's been fully confirmed.
Is
I
that
mean-
where you want to bring him in, though? I mean,
Christian Bale's going to do
I can't
what
think of
Christian
anything
Bale
anybody
wants to
better
do.
for
Right.
Doom at this point. I mean, Gary Oldman, but Gary Oldman is just a little too old.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
This, yeah.
I mean, I think I think it was Earl that threw out Fassbender's name. I think he could pull off a good Doom. I mean,
Yeah.
But Fassbender's Magneto, and they're
Yeah.
going to
It's
want to
It's too
recast.
mainstream. Yeah.
Doom's going to be behind the mask a lot. I mean, it doesn't
I
matter.
want-
Yeah.
Oh,
I
wait,
want
it's confirmed?
supervillain team up. I want that supervillain team up story of Magneto versus Doctor Doom, right? I want
Right.
Fassbender and Doctor Doom.
Josh,
Well,
Josh just informed me that Christian Bale is confirmed.
Okay.
Oh,
As what?
I don't think they
Nobody.
said.
Nobody. That's what
They
Exactly.
we
probably
don't
have
know
not said
who,
yet.
But he's confirmed to be signed to it.
Yes.
So yeah. Okay. Good. Thank you, Josh. I knew. Yeah. You see, I know this. I just don't
You won't-
immediately have it at my fingertip.
He won't be like a Doctor Doom. No, it's Thor Love. I'm sorry. I think
Thor: Love and Thunder that Christian Bale's confirmed for.
The romantic comedy Thor: Love and Thunder.
Right. Do we know anything about like what the plot is or the villain or anything? Or are you just pulling Doom in because you
We
think
know that Natalie Portman picks up the hammer.
right?
We know that. We know that Jane becomes Thor,
cool.
and Korg's back, and Valkyrie's
Is it
back.
Is it another Taika Waititi production?
It
Yes,
is.
it
It is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It
Then
is.
A, it'll be great, and B, do you
Mhm.
really want him bringing Doctor Doom
No,
into the
no.
movie?
No,
I don't
actually
think so.
do.
I don't
No,
know. I don't know.
the Mandalorian, the last
Yeah,
episode of
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian, he's more than capable of handling this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
give
he's
him
capable
full
of
props.
handling it, but
He's
I
brilliant.
think that has probably written another script that is more comedic than anything. I mean, I
That's
think
what
he's already said it's a romantic comedy.
More than likely, but that
Basically.
doesn't mean that Doom is comedic in it or that Doom is throughout the entire thing.
hmm
I mean, he could just be walk on, walk through as an older Doom, and then they've got to do a Doctor Doom movie with his
He could
origin.
do the Thanos thing like from the first Avengers. Just have him in as an Easter egg at the end.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Josh,
Woohoo,
fine,
I'm
I'll
Christian
do it
Josh
Bale.
myself.
also just showed me it is a villain role.
Yeah. See?
So yeah.
So, but I mean, what I was asking is, how do you feel about that? Who better? Who can you think of somebody better to play Doom? Because my all-time
no.
favorite comic book character is Doctor Doom, and they've got to get him right finally.
Is he big enough? I mean, I didn't think he was big enough to be Batman. I'm
Christian
really
Bale
not
can do
Oh,
it. Yeah.
He can body change.
he
Yeah.
broke the bat suit.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Christian Bale is one of these actors that would have his legs elongated if he felt he
Yep.
needed to be taller.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Because he
Yeah.
went right from The Machinist, where he's like this
Oh, gosh.
gangly,
Oh.
you
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden he's breaking the bat suit
Yeah.
during the Dark Knight.
I remember reading something where when around that time period they said, "Dude, you need to chill out."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
His people that worked with him, they're like, "You need to dial it down a little bit, buddy."
concern for his health. Yeah.
I think he did
Mhm.
say that he's done with the whole weight thing after Dick Cheney. After he played Dick Cheney, he's like, I'm done with the gaining and the losing.
Yeah, I saw
I
that
think,
too.
yeah,
It's
I think
hard.
he's probably done with that. Yeah.
But yeah, he
Certainly hope
would
so.
be. Yeah, he would. I just think he would be an outstanding.
Yeah, I
I'm,
mean,
I'm just not a big Christian Bale fan.
he's fully
personally,
capable.
but-
He's fully capable of doing the role. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt in that. But
It's
yeah.
not. It's not like I have posters up of Christian Bale or anything.
Oh, come on, Stan!
but
Don't hold back
but
on us.
his Doom, that's too good to pack. He can choose scenery for 7 or 8 movies.
Mhm.
And don't you want to see him take on the Beyonder? You know, God.
I'm here trying to think of. I mean, because I know that there are so many other really good actors that could pull it off, and
Yeah,
and right now my brain is just
I
not
think that
in
too,
it,
but I'm
and-
not coming up with
know.
anything.
But,
And
I
See,
mean-
I don't think I think
Do you want
Bale
a
is
name
too-
guy, or do you want just somebody in the suit? Though?
who's good.
no,
you
you
know?
want somebody that is a method actor in that suit.
you want
Oh,
a big
yeah.
name. You do want a
Yeah.
big name for Doom. You don't want to
It's
go
Doom,
small
yeah.
on that. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you want somebody. I would have said Mads Mikkelsen, but they've already used him for what I
Yeah.
think is they already underused him.
They
mhm.
can use his
I
brother.
mean, he was great in it, but dear Lord, we didn't get enough.
They could use
yeah.
his brother.
No, well,
They're both really great actors.
yeah,
His
yeah,
brother's
I can
taller,
see
too.
that.
hmm
Ah.
Lars is taller than Mads. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
And let's ask this: when they bring him in, do you want a? Well, no, with Doom, it's easy. I think you just do the Iron Man thing. You have part of it is CGI, and part of it is him
Mhm.
in a Doctor Doom suit. But do you do full CGI on the Thing or a dude in a suit.
You can do a
Probably a
combination.
mix. You could do a mix, yeah.
Same
Because I
thing
think
with Doom.
I think they're definitely trying to go more practical effects, just because there is that what I would call the Jurassic Park effect. Because you can watch Jurassic Park now and it still holds up because they did a mix of the two. So it's like I know that they're starting to go fully back to that, to where you've got practical effects mixed with the digital, and it looks great. I think they can pull it off.
And whereas we want that on the Thing and Doom, I will not at all accept a CGI Human Torch. I want real effects.
You just want them on fire.
I want a dude
on fire.
on fire.
That's exactly.
This is how you get. This is how you get Herbie the robot, Stan. You don't want that.
Well, we've killed 3 actors trying to do a Human Torch.
Right?
So long as they kill the
one
right
became
three.
Captain America.
Yeah, well, there you go. He would have been the wrong of the three. Though.
Now, when are we ever going to get the Adam Warlock payoff? I mean,
I'm waiting for it.
I mean, what the heck? When is that coming? I mean,
Is that Guardians 3?
Yeah,
I guess it will be,
possibly.
but why couldn't they do that in Thor: Love and Thunder? I mean, they're going to be in space, you know. So
it could very well.
Good.
I don't know. That's almost too much with Jane picking up the hammer and all. And
I think they set up that it was going to be in 3, and then 3's gotten horribly delayed because of the whole controversy with the director, and so we would have already had Warlock, you know, about now if not for that whole business.
Which I honestly, after watching John Wick, I honestly can see Keanu possibly as Adam Warlock as well.
Yeah,
That'd be
good.
I still think he's going to be Moon Knight. That's what my pick.
That's also possible.
That's my pick for Moon
You think
Knight.
he'd do a series?
Amazing.
Yes, anybody does a series nowadays.
Mhm.
I mean, there's no
series.
There's
John
no
Wick is a series.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
he
no
just
limitation
belts
on
those
that.
out.
Yeah.
It's 2020 now, and we used to have those conversations. Oh, that guy's too big to be.
He's too big,
Right?
but yeah, you don't anymore.
But not
right?
anymore. Not anymore. Now, the superhero movies is what you go after.
I'm currently watching a TV series with Al Pacino in it. So I mean,
the one on Amazon Prime. Yeah.
So if Al Pacino's doing serial television, then
But Al Pacino, to me and you and Joe and Michael, did not necessarily translate to Al Pacino to say Josh and Allie in a younger set crowd. Robert De Niro and Al Pacino are not as.
Are you calling me old, Stan?
Are you surprised?
Yes, I am.
My grandmother, every single time The Godfather was on, it was like, you know, it would be there. So we'd see Robert De Niro, and I mean.
Yeah, I mean.
Man, you're out of order. This whole panel's out of order.
If you had suggested that, look, Al Pacino's going
Stan,
to do television or series or episodic things,
Yeah.
at the time The Devil's Advocate came out, nobody would have bought that.
Yeah, no.
But now, Al Pacino and De Niro, they can be bought.
But I'll put it to you this way. I mean, Fassbender just signed on to a series.
Oh,
I mean, it's not uncommon anymore. I mean, it's like, I think Jude Law is going to be in an HBO series coming out he's been in several
Jude
HBO
Law is already the new Pope.
Yeah, and he's got another one coming out, another limited series coming out. So
I hope it involves the Vatican.
No, it's not. It's like
That's his thing. That's his thing.
Man.
Yeah. Because I got to tell you, I don't understand it at all.
Yeah, I think that's just where we are right now. Is there's no line anymore. I mean, I think that any actor will do a series now.
That's going to become even more blurred as we go on down there. I just don't know if that's what Keanu's talking to him about. So you really think he could handle Moon Knight?
Yeah. Oh, easily.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think so for sure.
I mean, Moon Knight's a schizoid.
I would have never thought that he would be able to until we watched the John Wick series.
Yeah.
And like his range is actually really good.
Oh, he's got tremendous range. And
Yeah.
I'm just, I just don't know. I never thought of him as Moon Knight. What is your problem with Alison Brie, Michael?
I have no problem with Alison Brie.
20 minutes later.
Who told you that? I have no problem with Alison Brie.
I mean, she would be perfect for Jennifer
for
Walters.
She-Hulk. No, I think that they need to go with a different type of actress. I think that there's an actor, I think Hispanic girl that's on Reno, not Reno, not
Reno.
no, the one with Andy Samberg. I can't remember that show's the.
Oh,
Oh, I know who
Brooklyn
you're talking
Nine-Nine?
about.
Yeah. I think she would be, and I think she's even like kind of campaigning for the role a little bit. I think the woman that's on that show would be really good as She-Hulk.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I wish
I don't
they
have a
would
problem with that.
stop campaigning because it makes you go, "Ooh, yeah, that would be great," and the campaigning never works.
Right. Right.
Look, the Rosario Dawson campaign that I headed up 5 years ago paid off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one.
And even Katie Sackhoff, sort of campaigning on her own to be live action Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
We're gonna get that too. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of common sense, though, right there. That's almost too easy. Yeah, just go
Right.
ahead, sign her over.
Yeah.
So yeah, she looked like the character, and she was the character in Clone Wars. So go for it.
Although it didn't work for Ashley Eckstein in Ahsoka Tano.
No, but yeah, that's a little bit different. That's a little bit different.
Not to Ashley Eckstein. It's not different to her.
Why not Keanu as Doom? I don't know if I'm
no,
ready.
I think I could. That could work, but I mean, I like your Christian Bale better than the Keanu.
Well,
Yeah.
you see, you got to have somebody pretty, because we have to have that scene where he reaches into the fire, grabs the mask because he's got one little scar here, and puts the mask on.
What about
Yeah.
Keanu as Beta Ray Bill?
Oh,
That would be. I mean, that's almost type. That's a little typecasting, I guess. But that would be.
that would
awesome.
be really cool.
That actually would be really good.
I thought Bale was
Josh is
Beta Ray
applauding.
Bill.
No, I
Earl
think,
said-
That is true.
Beta Ray Bale. Beta Ray
Beta
Bale.
Ray Beta Ray Bale.
Well, that would definitely be outside of his
Keanu,
usual
Look at
casting.
it this way: Keanu and Beta Ray Bill are both from space.
right.
That's
Right.
exactly
It's
right. I'm also in agreement with Earl Salzer. If we're going to cross over and have Fassbender as anybody in standard MCU,
Mhm.
I'm in agreement with Earl. Namor. That's
Yeah.
too good of an opportunity to pass up there. But
Yeah.
I still don't think and as much as I'd love to see that, I don't. There's a problem. They're not going to recast Fassbender in another role because they don't want to confuse the general public.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
they're
I don't know.
It's
There's
too-
been
it's
lots
too
of
soon.
crossover. It might be that would be the only reason is because
Yeah.
it's too soon.
And-
But there's
yeah.
been crossover and all kinds of crazy. I mean, there's been.
Do you
casting.
think any of the? I mean, I'm not. I mean, it's going to be years before we see any X-Men characters in anything.
I think they're going
But-
to hold off on that longer. I think.
Actually, I think it's gonna come sooner than you think.
Really?
Maybe.
Uh,
I figured
Honestly, I
Fantastic
think
Four
so.
would come. I figured Fantastic Four would come before.
That
the
might be both. I mean, I could see them both at the same time, even because it came down to what Janet Van Dyne had said about the being in the microverse in the quantum realm and how it changes you. And so now we're dealing with post-snap stuff. We're dealing with all of this interesting stuff to where there can be like this boom of powers, and I honestly think that it will be, as opposed to a leakage, it will be a rush.
Yeah.
Joe,
See,
personally.
Earl said Secret Wars.
Yeah,
Would be how
and
they would bring the X-Men in.
that's what the
You have
Russo
to do
brothers
that,
said
yeah.
they want to come back for.
Well, they say they would come back for that.
That's
Yeah.
If
far
they
down the
were
road.
to come back, that would be the only thing that would bring them back.
A little
Wait a minute, I had
soon for that, though.
It
Yeah.
is. It is. I mean, and that's why I'm like, I don't even know if we're going to see the X-Men that much until maybe the very end of Phase 4. I mean, I don't even. It's
Yeah,
going to be
I
a
don't-
while.
I mean, honestly, I know the next. I'm pretty sure that the next step that they were setting up for is the the Kree Skrull.
Yeah, from Spider-Man,
Mhm.
Spider-Man 4, because they actively mentioned
Yep.
that. Nick
Yeah.
Fury's talking about those, the Kree cells are supposed to be eyes only information.
Yeah,
Yeah, and, I mean, they've
that's
actually
right
name dropped that.
directly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can expect that.
Carol,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna come. Yep.
Yeah. Do you think?
But it's going to have repercussions is the great, I mean, and that's the great thing about the MCU is that every single movie has something that happens that has massive repercussions for the following.
And
Yep.
they've also got a format for how to follow these storylines that are big, but not quite as big as, say, Endgame and Infinity War. For instance, like Carol Danvers 3, Captain Marvel 3, the title of that could be the Kree-Skrull War.
Yeah.
You mean 2?
Yeah.
Well,
No, I'm saying 2.
He's-
Oh, you're
Two's
going
way in
that
the
far.
future.
You're going
Yeah.
that far
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, I don't know. Could be 2. Could
Yeah.
be 2. All right, let me drop this bomb real 5.
Yeah.
That would be 5 more years, is what I'm saying, because we're
Oh,
2
yeah.
years out from Carol 2.
Right.
Okay.
Probably 3 more years to 3.
Yeah. And
Let
then
me
we've got
drop-
Black Panther 2 is going to be in Phase 4 at some point.
Yeah.
Let me drop a little bit of a bomb here and see what y'all think of this. There are
Mhm.
rumors that Evans Peters shows up in WandaVision.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Okay.
I don't know.
Evan
I
Peters
honestly,
is Quicksilver,
Quicksilver.
in the
As
Fox
Quicksilver.
X-Men.
Yeah.
Would you see? I'd really be down for that. I just assumed the other Quicksilver would.
no,
show
yeah,
up.
I actually preferred him, to be honest. I
But
think
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
I mean, you're a little Quicksilver.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I actually really liked him, and I feel like we got gypped with him, and
Yeah,
it's
that
just
was
because,
weird.
and it
It
was
was
just
weird.
the politics. It was the politics between Fox and Disney, and you
Mhm.
know them bargaining. You know, if anybody, they should have gotten Ryan Reynolds in there with them a lot sooner, so that he could have made those deals.
they did cooler stuff with Evan Peters in the other things.
That's true.
But
But
Evan
we
Peters
did
person.
get gypped out of Quicksilver in Age of
Mhm.
Ultron. I agree.
But because they were forced to,
Yeah.
they could not
Yeah.
use him any further than Age of Ultron.
But Quicksilver in Age of Ultron was closer to the comic book version than
Yes.
Evan Peters' character is. Evan Peters is like a kleptomaniac Wally West.
yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's like the
it's
most
cool
powerful character
cool as
in
all
the
get out.
X-Men movies.
Huh?
Yeah.
You can tell that they are in love with his power set and what it can do in a movie because he's like the most powerful character in the X-Men movies currently.
He's the
Or-
best thing in the
Yeah.
last 2 X-Men films.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah,
haven't
his
watched
scenes are the ones
latest.
that just come to a screeching halt.
exactly.
And you're like,
And I'm
Actually,
like,
I
I've
think-
read Marvel Comics since the mid-'70s, and I never gave a flip about Quicksilver. And
No. Well,
It's
see, the
amazing
same thing
how
kind
good-
of goes for Thor. You know, I was never really interested in Thor, and now I've got like 2 action figures of him. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
it's ridiculous, but I love him. I love Loki. Loki was always a great villain, but the attraction that I will have for him as a character has just been, you know, gone through the roof. Which is another show that I am so looking forward to is the Loki
that
series.
should be fun.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
That should be fun.
well,
That
that
looks
deals
like
with.
fun.
No, wait a minute. I don't know if that deals with the Time Authority.
Which is Kang's
Well,
thing.
who knows?
right?
Who knows?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my understanding. I mean, yeah, that's the cool thing that they did with Endgame was they gave us they cheated, man. They cheated so hard, but it worked. They said,
Yeah.
look, here's the natural evolution of Loki till he's almost a good guy. Oh, he's dead. Now we're going to use the old one. Here's
Yeah.
Right.
Boom.
here's Gamora. Gamora's released so sweet and nice. Oh, we're going back. You know, it's like we get the they said let's just erase all the character development and
Yeah.
start over when they were more fun.
Let's rewind
and
this.
interesting.
Let's
Yeah,
get the
I mean,
pencil
that's-
in that cassette tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you don't know what they're going to do.
Mm.
So, well, okay. So we've talked about Moon Knight. We've talked a little bit about She-Hulk and a lot about WandaVision. Joe, do you not think that you're going to see a snippet of the X-Men in Multiverse of Madness? I think the whole point of the multiverse is a way to walk the X-Men in.
I mean
I
that
I think so. I think that what you're gonna do is they may be like in Guardians 2. Wait, yes, in Guardians 2 when they go super fast through the galaxies and you see Stan Lee with the Watchers, it may be
Mhm.
something like that. That's how you see the X-Men.
Yeah.
They're like, whoa,
Yeah.
hey, was that the X-Men? in some kind of while he's traveling through the multiverse.
Well, it's kind of, I think it's also like, you know, way back in the 90s when the original X-Men movies came out, you know, you could watch those movies and you could see, like, you know, you could see Gambit's name on the database, or you can see, you know, but it wasn't his code name, it was his actual name. So, you know, your typical
Franklin
person would know.
Richards was on the
Exactly,
screen
yes. Yes. And so I think like little things like that, I think is what makes me, as someone who has read comic books since I was 9, like adore these movies. And I think that's why I'm so attached to these movies, is because you see the little things, and, you know, but at the same time you can enjoy them with like your parents who don't really get it. So it's like, I mean, my mom loves the Marvel movies. So
you take them in on a different level than, you know, people who are just there to be entertained.
And I think that's how we're going to get a lot of stuff, is in the little snippets that we're going to catch that other people aren't.
Yeah, and I don't know if you go, I feel like they're going to want to, like y'all were saying earlier, they're going to want to maximize their X-Men money. They're not going to just nickel and dime the X-Men. When the X-Men come in, it's going to be big. But is it going to be a brand new X-Men flick, since the previous X-Men flicks have not exactly done super great? Or I feel like they have to work them into somebody else's movie first. Just like they did with everyone else.
Probably,
there has to be little things. Honestly, I like the setups. I think the setups make it more satisfying, personally. I mean, I think people look for, wondering what they're going to see in, like, I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy, you know, what are we going to see? Are we going to see Silver Surfer? Are we going to see, you know, these things that may connect to Fantastic Four? And if Fantastic Four comes out, are we going to see things connect to, you know, actually have that connection to the Avengers? Are we going to have, you know, the Baxter Building actually, you know, do something?
Like, and what I want them to do is just do like they did in the lead up to the first Avengers movie, when you saw Thor's hammer at the end of I think it was one of the Iron Man 2. Thank you. And I thought, oh my gosh, it's Thor's hammer, and we had to wait however long until the Thor movie. Me and my wife and my kiddo, we recently rewatched all the Marvel movies, and my daughter had the same reaction as I did when I first saw the Thor's hammer in Iron Man 2, and she only had to wait 5 minutes to see the Thor
for
movie.
the payoff.
Yeah.
So I've got a question for everybody then. I mean, what if you could only have one character from the Netflix Marvel shows come over to the MCU? Who would be if you could only have one of them, who would be your one? Stan, you start.
Daredevil.
I like it.
Daredevil.
I'd like for the Punisher to go too, but Daredevil, if I only had one.
And what movie do you think that they would introduce Daredevil in?
Oh, of course, Spider-Man.
His lawyer.
Yeah, makes the most sense.
I mean, you know, we see him in some trouble at the end of the most recent one, so he needs a lawyer. Joe, what about you?
Yeah.
I think Luke Cage.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
He's so good.
Yeah. Oh no, that was a great series. Yeah.
Yeah, it really was.
I want to go. I want to go see Luke Cage do street level Marvel things on the big screen.
That's good. Van, what about you?
Luke is a good answer, but I'll say The Daughters of the Dragon.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
They should have.
Nice.
They should have been their own series. They should have definitely.
Yes. Oh, very good.
I had a feeling that they were starting to set up Claire as White Tiger as well.
Yeah,
because she had the claws.
I think that they're getting the embargo, or the time has passed, and they're very close to being able to bring these characters in.
I think it's the end of this year. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love, me personally, I would love to see John Bernthal as Punisher in the MCU.
Oh gosh.
Oh my gosh.
He loves being that guy.
Mm-hmm.
In interviews and on his social media, he kind of has taken ownership of the Punisher.
That scene,
I approve 100%.
That scene in the pawn shop where he's about to leave, and the guy just says that one more thing, and he sets his coffee down and locks the door. I mean, you don't even have to see it. It was just you just knew.
Yeah.
You just knew.
Yeah, and John
Yeah.
Bernthal is a main event guy. You know, I
Oh
want to
yeah,
see
Mhm.
yeah,
you
yeah.
could season the Punisher into other things, but he
Mhm.
could also go. I don't know. Punisher on the big screen has been a little spotty, but
We
Twice.
haven't even got to the worst kept secret in the world of whatever the deal is between Sony and Disney has changed completely because
Mm.
Morbius is in
Mhm.
the
Right.
MCU.
Well, are you
Mhm.
just talking because they had that
Spider. No, I'm
picture
talking
of
because
Spider-Man?
Michael Keaton is showing
Well,
up as
right,
the
Michael
Vulture.
Keaton,
Yeah.
but I don't know
And
yet
the
if we're
back
gonna
of the
see.
and the rumor it's very strong rumors about Venom 2.
Yeah.
I'll
I
say this
mean,
I
about
would, which I
Morbius.
would love. I actually really liked
Yeah,
Tom
Venom.
Hardy
Yeah.
as Venom.
yeah, I
If
liked him as Venom. I wish they had had a better
if
script. And
Morbius
Yeah.
tanks at the box office, though, you're not gonna see Morbius in the MCU.
right.
I mean, that just
Yeah.
won't happen. That
Yeah.
they'll quietly get rid of that
I don't think
character.
I don't think they're going, oh, here's Morbius in the MCU, but they are building toward the Sinister Six. I mean,
Mhm.
that's
No,
the
they
appearance
are.
they're
You're right.
Which I mean, that could also lead to Blade as well.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Blade.
Yeah, lead.
I mean, it's true.
Blade.
It's true. But no, I mean, I honestly, and people are gonna hate me for this. I would love Daredevil. I absolutely adore Daredevil.
Yeah.
I actually really, really want to see Finn Jones as Iron Fist. I think with
I
him
loved it.
opposite
Loved
of
it.
Mike Coulter, when they're together,
Oh,
That
they play
season
off of
was
each
fantastic.
other
Yeah.
really, really well. And it's he seems to be really like excited about the character, and he tried really
Yeah.
hard. I think it was just
That first season
bad
was rough.
writing. Yeah,
That first
it was a
season
rough
was rough,
first
but
season.
the second season, he really came into that role.
I think what
Yeah.
happened was he needed, just like oddly enough, just like in the comics, Iron Fist needed Power Man,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it was crazy. But that first season, because I found myself when I was watching the first season hitting that fast forward button anytime anyone sat down in a boardroom, and it was like 5 minutes of talking. When is somebody going to punch something?
Yeah,
Where's
don't-
the Iron
don't-
Fist?
Don't watch Succession, Joe.
Yeah, exactly. That's
all they
all
do.
Succession is. That's all they do. Yeah.
Okay,
It
we're
was
going
like,
in.
the show's already over. What happened? I fast forwarded and it's gone.
That show lasted 7 minutes. What?
We're going into the second. Go
I
ahead.
want to see the Kingpin from Daredevil against our current
Oh,
Spider-Man.
Yes.
yes.
And come on,
Yes.
that guy.
Yeah.
D'Onofrio. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I mean, that
D'Onofrio.
whole series, the whole series was fantastic
Mhm.
from beginning to end. To be honest, like, I mean, it was, it's one thing to see, that on, the MCU on the big screen, which is huge and is awesome, but it's another thing when you're a comic reader who adores the Defenders like Daredevil and Iron Fist and those street heroes, and seeing them do it so well and so dark and so gritty. And I mean, it was fantastic from beginning to end. And I'm really sad that, it could not have continued.
My
onward.
wish, and I feel like the Marvel people, the Marvel creators with the Netflix stuff, they, and the creators of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the TV, the whole Marvel TV stuff, they set an impossible goal and said, this is happening before it happened. They said,
Yeah.
oh no, it's all going to mix together. And then immediately it didn't. And because what they should have been doing the whole time was the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. should have shown up on the Netflix shows. And they should have shown up on Cloak and Dagger and Runaways. And they
Yeah.
all should have intermingled. But the fact that none of them did.
Right.
Well, I think a lot of that was also Netflix. They wanted to
Sure.
be secular. They wanted
Yeah.
to stay in their
Sure.
own little corner and let everybody else play in their playground. This
Yeah.
is their sandbox. They wanted that, and it just it helped Marvel get their foot higher
It
up.
did.
But unfortunately, it was a sad casualty of, I think, boardroom politics.
Oh yeah.
And what I want is the creators of those shows to get another shot at more Marvel things. you know, more episodes of the new things. And I don't want them to just, because they were the Netflix people, I don't want them to shove those guys out the door.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessary. I mean, if there's the opportunity, I'm sure they will. We're in the last 10 minutes. We're in the second decade of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. At the end of the second decade, what are we building toward? My guess is Secret Wars, so they can have the opportunity to recast.
Right. I think that's got to be what they're going towards. Yeah.
But is that a story we want them to do, though?
Yeah.
I mean,
I was not big.
Right, yeah.
I was iffy with Secret Wars, personally.
Yeah,
it was kind of a...
it was a fun gimmick, but that doesn't mean it was a good story.
Yeah.
Hickman's Secret Wars, though?
Well,
I mean, he was really, that was the book itself, not the offshoots and all. Hickman's core book, he built up, he laid it out, and that's where most of their ideas would be drawn from.
But that's different. I thought if you're thinking about Beyonder with the afro and the leisure suit.
Michael Jackson Beyonder, no.
Yeah.
No. I mean, you could have the entity Beyonder as he showed up in the first Secret Wars, in some capacity. But in the second Secret Wars, through Marvel history, through Marvel storytelling since the first Secret Wars, the Beyonder was a stray Beyonder, and there was actually a continuum of Beyonders that formed the universe, and they decided of the multiverse, enough was enough, and so they started collapsing them one at a time till they came down to the ultimate Marvel universe and the 616 Marvel universe.
Yeah.
And while, all the superheroes read, while that accursed Richards was screwing around with Tony Stark and the Illuminati on the planet, Doom went to meet the Beyonders on the edge of space. And it came down to Doom, the Molecule Man, and Doctor Strange to stop the Beyonders from wiping everything else. And it's because of Doom you still have a Marvel universe in comics. He single-handedly saved us all.
Thank you, Doom. Thank you, Victor.
Yeah. But you know what? Doctor Strange made the ultimate sacrifice in that. So
thank you.
Doctor. My favorite thing, one of my favorite scenes in Fantastic Four was Doom decides he's moving over to magic to use against the Fantastic Four in the comic books. And then he thinks to himself, there's only one individual who can get in my way on this. And he does the equivalent of knocking on the Sanctum Sanctorum's door and going Candygram, and Strange opens it and it's like, bam! And that was it. So, but I mean, is that what y'all think we're leading toward?
See more of the aspects.
What else?
I mean, there's got to be an event that they're leading towards, because right now it feels like Phase 4 is sort of all over the place. I mean, it doesn't feel like we're going to a big event. I mean, that's what the luxury of the first three phases were. I mean, we knew what we were getting towards. I mean, that unless they're going to show us something quickly, Phase 4 looks really all over the place. So I don't know.
Well, now let's be honest. Now we really didn't know where the first three phases were going, and we were well into like 2. Honestly, in the early days, we thought that the big culmination of all this was the first Avengers movie.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's
that was the thing. And then when that was big, you're like, oh, but there. I mean, that's people forget. The only reason Thanos was in Avengers 1 was because Joss Whedon said, I'd kind of like somebody bigger than Loki to be responsible for this. And Feige said, well, who would you like? And Joss goes, how about Thanos? Like he's going to say yes. And he's like, yes. Right? He's like, the reason that we got everything after that was because Joss Whedon just threw it out there almost as a joke, and Feige goes, So that wasn't a meticulous blueprint. That was like a happy accident, right? So,
I mean, I would absolutely, love to see more of the aspects. I think the aspects and, the higher ups in the Marvel Universe, they are a lot, like, very, very interesting, and people really don't give them that much, attention as much as like they should. But I think with the Celestials, with the Celestials, with the Eternals, it is a potential to see a lot more of that. And even with the Multiverse of Madness, you have that run where Strange goes up against Infinite. No, Eternity.
Eternity.
It was
Yeah.
Eternity. And so, which, Eternity was already mentioned, which
Mhm.
people don't pick up on that one either. That was Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And so I'm really interested to see that they might go even further than the Beyonders and all of those, the one above all and everything like that.
So, yeah,
Honestly,
they could certainly use the Eternals movie to set up the next thing. I mean, because really,
Yeah.
Black Widow almost seems like an in-betweener. I mean, it almost
is.
seems like an in-between
Yeah.
phases, and then Eternals is really where it's going to start, because those are the next
Yeah.
two.
What
Those
is
are the next two we're getting. So
I kind of feel bad about the Black Widow movie. I think it's gonna. I mean, a good standalone movie, but I feel like we should have done this 5 movies ago.
yes.
That's Pearl Moocher's
Yeah,
fault. Yeah.
I mean,
that's
that's
not Feige.
the one cool thing we'll get is Florence Pugh as the next Black Widow. I mean,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that'll be a good setup for that. And they're going to use the movie to propel it somehow, the scene at the end of the film or after credit scenes. I mean, there'll be something to move it forward. So, I mean.
Yeah.
That was one of my biggest issues, maybe my biggest issue with Endgame was it seems like they gave a lot of people a lot of things, but Black Widow, they just kind of went.
Yeah.
And
Again, Pearl Murder. All him. All Pearl
Yeah.
Murder. We got 3 minutes to wrap it up. Let's go ahead. Michael, tell everybody where you're from.
Okay, we already did this, but you can
Yeah, we
find me
did it at the beginning. We do it at the end.
TheDeucecast.com is the easiest place to go. I mean, we're on every different podcatcher you can imagine, but and we're even going to be on the new Amazon podcast that they're going to do through Audible. So that'll be. Make sure any podcasters out there sign up for that, because that's coming soon. Make sure your podcast is on that. And then also I mentioned CTI. You can look that up. I think you actually have to look it up as Card Trader Illuminati. And there's a really long story behind that that I won't go into, but we usually just call ourselves CTI now. So
I'm
look those up.
Stan. I'm Stan Daniel, Kingdom Cast Podcast with Albert Marsh, wherever podcasts are sold. Van?
This time I'll just point out my podcast network, the White Rocket Entertainment Network, which includes the Avengers Assemble podcast, the Open Wheel Racing podcast, the Auburn AU Wishbone podcast. I've got a whole bunch of shows, but just go to whiterocket.podbean.com or just look on iTunes or wherever for the White Rocket podcast.
Excellent. Joe?
look on the Googles for American sci-fi classics.
Awesome.
I do that stuff at conventions like this one and like at Dragon Con, and I'm all over the place.
All over.
I'm even a pro wrestling announcer, you guys.
God
Yes,
bless.
you are. Whenever
The
that gets
best.
started again.
The best thing.
Ali?
You can find my work now at studio44-63.com. It's rudimentary right now, but we're working on it. And you can also find me as a reoccurring guest on a podcast called Group Therapy, which is all about collectors who need to go through basically it's a discussion about collectors and enabling each other.
Oh, dang.
I don't know
Maybe
anything
so.
about collecting at all. I know nothing about
Yeah,
collecting.
me either. What? I don't
But
know.
you can find us on YouTube. I'm trying to think of, I think it's, shoot, it used to be Six Scale Scavengers.
Still on that channel.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great show, and yeah, but we've moved over to give a bit more room and entail over from not just hot toys, but over to statues, to helmets, to replicas, all of that stuff. So if you want to learn how to, afford them on a budget, this is the stream on YouTube for you. So.
Outstanding. Kristen, did we get the go-ahead on the Ray Park Darth Maul special podcast?
No.
Special panel?
Oh,
Please,
Really?
no.
Van, put a sign up that says no.
Chris, you're
I
wrong.
really wish you could see my face right now.
Yes,
Thank you,
wrong,
Kristen.
exactly.
Thank you so much, Hoover Library Sci-Fi
Thank
Fantasy
you.
Fest. We love doing this. Thank you for having us, really. Y'all did a
Thank you,
great
guys.
job.
Awesome.
Outstanding. I had some
Wonderful.
problems with Josh, but the rest of you were great.
I always have problems with Josh.
All right.
Thank you all.
guys.
Have a good
Thank you
night.
guys very,
Thanks.
very much.
Bye.